What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And we are starting off with one from CNN. I'm gonna let you know this now. This is kind of an upsetting story if you've been a victim of or been around police shootings. This one's kind of disturbing with that regard. I just wanted to put that out there. This is a really shocking story from CNN, and this happened a while ago that the shooting occurred, but we're only starting to get details of it now. And none of it makes any sense on the officer's half of this, right? It makes absolute zero sense. It is, at best, complete incompetence, and at worst, premeditated. Man was shot by police after officer mistook his gun for a taser. Police in Florida say. That is correct. He mistook his gun on the right hand side that is strapped to his, waist. He mistook that for the taser that is strapped on his left hand side, that is yellow and black and clearly marked, that is lighter and has completely different grip and style. He confused them two things: his service weapon with his taser. So a police officer in Florida shot a man after mistaking his gun for a taser. Initial review of the case suggests police said in a statement. The shooting last year is gaining growing attention after the man's attorney announced a public records lawsuit against the police department. Now, as I said, this left this guy paralyzed. This guy's never going to walk again. On July 3rd, 2021, police allegedly shot Michael Ortiz in the back while he was on the ground, naked and in handcuffs. According to the complaint, Ortiz is now paralyzed and requires round-the-clock care. The complaint alleges the officers mistakenly fired a gun instead of a taser. The Hollywood Police Department said in a statement, initial reviews suggest the officer intended to deploy his taser, but instead discharged his firearm, the statement said. Again, these weapons are located on two different sides of the body. So, how on earth can it be that the guy got them confused? Civil rights attorney Ben Crump said at a news conference that Ortiz was having a mental health crisis on the day of the shooting after losing his dog. He was calling 911 for help, Crump said, of the events leading up to the shooting. Ortiz then took a shower and was drying off when he discovered 3 police officers, 3 fire department officials, and a police intern at his residence. Crump said Ortiz told reporters he does not remember exactly what happened. I'm not surprised that he doesn't remember. Now, here's the thing, right? People are going to be like, how can he not remember? How can you not remember? When traumatic things happen to people, the brain represses those memories because they are that difficult for the brain to deal with. The brain takes time to process severe trauma, and to suffer that trauma and have that trauma remembered, straight away is damaging to the psyche. Your brain shuts this off deliberately. That's why it's important after traumatic events to, after some time, start going to therapy so you can learn to deal with the traumatic events. And often this can bring back details of the event and people start regaining memory of not everything, but at least some of the stuff that happens, and it allows, your conscious mind and your subconscious to deal with it in a healthy way. So Ortiz appeared in a wheelchair at Monday's news conference with his mother, several relatives, Trump, and other attorneys. Ortiz's family has been able to get satisfactory answers from the police department about what happened that day and why. His mother told reporters. The lawsuit aims to force the police department to release the surveillance footage, 911 calls, police reports, body cam footage, witness statements, and the radio dispatches, and excessive force complaints. And they should get all that. They have a right to see exactly what happened in that situation. I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. So the Florida Division of Law Enforcement confirmed to CNN on Monday that it is conducting an investigation into the incident at the request of the Hollywood police, and will turn over the results to the Florida State Attorney's Office. It's mental. This shouldn't have happened. It makes absolutely zero sense how this happened. And this, I mistook my taser for a gun thing. What kind of a defense is that? That's like a non-defense. That is not a defense at all. That is the most absurd thing to say. But anyways, we're moving on to Canada. And this one comes from CTV. And it's about, Canada being Canada. This is like, so if you'd asked me about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, if you'd asked me, if you could move anywhere in the world, where would you want to move? Like, where would you want to live if you didn't live in the UK anymore? Where would you go? If I wasn't in the UK, if I wasn't British, where would I want to move, right? Like, if I had the means, the money, and the ways to go, I would have said Canada. Canada would have been one of my top picks. I think my top picks would be like, were Canada, then this is to live, by the way, not to visit. This is to live. So my top picks would have been Canada, Thailand, and Netherlands. They would kind of be in the places that I would have wanted to live, right? If you ask me now, it would definitely not be Canada. No way. So the Ontario court has freezed access to donations for truckers' protests from GiveSendGo, although this only applies in Canada, because, uh, it's absolute shambles, this is. The Ontario government says it has successfully petitioned a court to freeze access to millions of dollars donated through online fundraising platform GiveSendGo to convoy protesters protesting restrictions in Ottawa and at several border crossings with the mandatory the mandatory vaccinations that want to be done. The province obtained an order from the Superior Court of Justice that prohibits anyone from distributing donations made through the website Freedom Convoy 2022 and adopt a trucker campaign page just as spokesman for Premier Doug Ford. Ivana Yelich said the order binding any and all parties with possession or control of these donations was issued Thursday afternoon. She cited the section of the criminal code that allows the Attorney General to apply for a restraint order against any offence-related property. This is bearing in mind that they can't actually prove in any way or shape or form that the people who organised the campaign are the ones that have committed the crime. And with that in regard, everybody, or at least the majority of people, have mobile phones, right? And events that are horrific, or when there's crimes involved, when someone does bad things, usually someone with a phone's there to record it, at least in public places like this, especially when it's a protest. But apparently there's no videos of that. Yet there is lots of videos of January 6th, right? And I'm not even comparing the two because this is peaceful protest and the January 6th wasn't. That just turned into God knows what. The point is both mass gatherings, lots of people. One has lots of video footage, the other one has no video footage of these supposed crimes that happened. So 170 trucks rolled in down to Ottawa, blah blah blah. We're not reading that part because that's the stupid part. So here we go. GiveSendGo posted a statement on the Twitter Thursday night about Freedom Convoy campaign. Know this, Canada has absolutely zero jurisdiction over how we manage our funds here at GiveSendGo. It said, all funds for every campaign on GiveSendGo flow directly to the recipients of those campaigns, not least of which is the Freedom Convoy campaign. Organisers have also touted Bitcoin as the way to generate funds for the protesters. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into FinTrack here, which monitors for illegal activity, right? That's what it does. It monitors for like money laundering and also terrorist financing. And that's interesting because it it's very absurd in the way they're going about this. But the Canadian government appears to be claiming or trying to imply that the truckers are terrorists. Earlier Thursday, NDP MP Alistair McGregor announced the committee would hear directly from representatives from GoFundMe, obviously because GiveSendGo aren't going to send representatives, are they, about what measures it has in place to prevent the funding of extremism. That's where they're going with this, with these campaigns. Bearing in mind, throughout all this, to be talking about the, trucking campaign, and they're looking at, what do GoFundMe have in place about terrorists? Because apparently that's what they're equating the actions of peaceful protest to now. And this is why I don't want to live in Canada anymore. It's absolutely absurd and mental that it's going that far. Not to mention, oh, just look at this. This is the absurd thing. Okay, I want. Oh my god. Okay, the Canadian government has the right to block funds for entering the country, so that you can try sending them and they can be refused. This campaign goes against your own terms of use. They are blocking national borders, which is illegal. Well, when it comes to knowingly collecting funds on behalf of the convoy, we shall see here. Where's the truckers' accommodations? Blah blah blah. Keep in mind, you can be charged with a fintech crime by Canadians. Assisting subversive activity is a crime. The USA and Canada have an extradition treaty. CCs can monitor non-Canadians. By the way, arrests start in the morning. This is all about to end. This is Canada. This is the Canadian people. They are going absolutely bananas over this. So terrorism is perfectly legal in Canada now. This is causing the auto industry problems. Blah blah blah. So you're admitting that you're acting as a pass-through for international funds, aiding a criminal outfit in Canada, blah blah blah. Like, this is Twitter. This is like the left. This is Canada now, and it's absolutely insane. But the plans for UK truckers are planning, US truckers are planning protest convoy of their own. This is called the CBS News, and this is what the Department of Homeland Security is warning. The Biden administration are frankly losing their minds a little bit. They're losing their minds a lot, and they are going to, what's the best way to put it? Try and put obstacles in place to prevent a peaceful protest in the United States from happening. That's kind of where they're going with this one. There's been many warnings that it's going to happen around the Super Bowl time in LA. That's what's alleged in this article, that's going to happen in LA. According to the Department of Homeland Security, that the convoy could travel across America to Washington D.C. to you know by March 1st, by President Biden's State of the Union address. That's what they're worried about, and it's like, so the basically justification for it is the bulletin warns that the convoy could severely disrupt transportation, federal government, and law enforcement operations through gridlock and potential counter protests. So that's kind of the argument here. Oh, well, it could do this. Oh, well, it could do that. And these things were once allowed, and apparently now they're not allowed anymore because governments are getting finicky about your right to protest. And that's the thing. I am very much in favor of human rights. There are reasons why we have human rights, and it is to prevent injustices. And one of the most important ones is the right to protest, because without the right to protest means that you cannot, gather in mass and, decry draconian measures or any law that you don't agree with, right? Any decision by the government, any actions taken, anything done by the police or anything like that. Even companies, when companies do terrible things, without the right to protest, and make people aware and stand up and say enough is enough. But it's very sad that people don't want that anymore. Or a lot of people are trying to get rid of your right to protest, my right to protest. And when that happens, it will be a very dark day, because there are very legitimate reasons why human rights came into effect, and to water them down, to diminish them, and try and circumvent them in any way in order to oppress people is wrong. Doesn't matter whether you agree or disagree with their cause. Everyone has the right to protest for what they believe in. Even if you do not believe it, that doesn't mean that their right to protest is in any way not relevant, not important. Because there will be a day where you need to protest something, where you need your voice heard, and you don't have the right to protest. We're going to move on to the final story of the day. And this one comes from Routers, and this one is actually really disturbing. Counterfeit parts have been found in US nuclear plants, says Inspector General. Yeah, you heard that right. Counterfeit nuclear plant part, yes, for nuclear reactors, have been found in plants across America. Holy crap. My first question is, how the hell does that happen? So, counterfeit parts have been discovered in US nuclear plants, potentially increasing the risk of a safety failure. Well, I wouldn't say potentially, I'd say definitely increasing the risk of a safety failure. The Inspector General of the Federal Nuclear Industry regulator said in a report released on Thursday. The report is a blow to US nuclear industry that has shrunk in recent years due to competition from new renewable power, and plants that burn natural gas, and lingering public concerns following high-profile mishaps like Fukushima. Counterfeit parts as safety and security concerns that could have serious consequences in critical power plant equipment required to perform a safety function, a report from the Inspector General's Office of Nuclear Regulatory Commission said. The report, which looked into concerns that the counterfeit parts are present in most, if the all power plant sampled a plant in each of the NRC for these regions and found data showing fake parts were used in a plant in the US Midwest. In addition, it said a well placed NRC principal told the Inspector General about two component failures at plants in the US Northeast. That plant operators determined involved fake parts. This is a real and present danger. This is actually a massive problem. Two failures and fake parts were involved in two of them. And a recent Inspector General audit report revealed that the parts are present at nuclear operating plants. It said without further details. I mean, this is absolutely absurd. So here is some of the things that have been found. Counterfeit parts have been found at reactors have included an emergency service water pump shaft, temperature sensors used to identify steam line breaks, breaker switches meant to prevent fires. Wow. Absolutely insane. And this is happening on the government's watch. This is happening on the government's watch. These parts are in these plants. That is extremely dangerous. And God forbid that the worst happens. We know what happens when these places malfunction, right? If you don't take care of them and a malfunction happens, oh, it could ruin lives for thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people, if not more. Generations could be ruined depending on how bad of the situation occurs. If the worst of the worst happens, especially when these are in the systems that are meant to, you know, protect you in the emergency systems to shut down a plant, to stop fires, to ensure that the reactor shuts down safely. Anyways, guys, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about all the stories there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys, and